Hello, and a very warm welcome for another session of housekeeping interaction. The topic that we are going to discuss today is the objective of interior design. My name is Chavi Sahai, and I work as an assistant professor at AISSMS College of Hotel Management and Catering Technology, Pune. So, interior designing we see in our everyday lives. Why we are discussing today what is the learning objective is that we learn about the various aspects of interior designing, and also we will learn about the main objectives of interior designing. Please keep in mind that interior designing in itself is a vast subject, and we are just brushing upon the highlights, or you can say just the main points we are discussing as a part of our curriculum in hotel management related to housekeeping department. So we are going to be discussing the objectives of designing. So, what are the various objectives? We There are mainly three major aspects which we try and achieve through interior designing. First is beauty, expressiveness, and also the functionalism. These three things are most important. So, coming to first beauty aspect of the objectives of designing, it includes various principles of designing like proportion, balance, rhythm, emphasis, etc. Then it also includes some elements, line, form, and space. Moving ahead, we discuss about the beauty aspect, which that it should be appealing in all its form that it exists. All areas that we design in the hotel should be beautiful. They should express the central idea, whatever we are trying to convey through design, and also it has to be functional. So, coming to expressiveness, a theme should be picked. It can be either natural theme, wherein we use a lot of natural elements in the part where we are designing. It can be very sophisticated, like a hotel which is commercial, which is a business hotel. It has to have a sophisticated interior design. It can be very formal. It can be antiquity. If it's a resort, it can be cool. It should be conveying freshness, etc. Next, we move ahead to functionalism. Functionalism, what do we understand by that? Any accommodation product, or any specifically talking about a hotel room or a public area, we have to have the interior design which conveys functionalism. It has to be comfortable, it has to give pleasure to the guest, and also it can be used efficiently. That is the main idea. For example, like I've mentioned here, furniture that we are choosing for a particular area, it has to look good. That is very important because we are talking about the hotel interior design. It has to look good. It has to be comfortable as well at the same time, because there will be many people who will be using that piece of furniture over many years to come. So it has to be both beautiful as well as comfortable. It has to be designed in such a way that it provides maximum service. It should be durable. Any area that we are designing, whatever aspects we are picking, it should give us maximum service, comfort, and obviously, because housekeeping staff has to maintain it for many years to come, it should involve minimum care and maintenance as much as possible. So when we are at the planning stage, we should be keeping this in mind before we go ahead and decide upon one aspect. The furnishing, whatever we choose, should be based on its function for that particular area. As they say, the form should follow function. Example, one thing that comes to my mind, like we all have living rooms in our houses. It is it performs so many functions. It is very used in very many ways. We use it as a dining room. We use it to entertain our guests. Sometimes there's music being played there. People play games. So it has a lot of functions that it serves. So as we go ahead, we see the main objectives of designing are: first, it has to be using the space to an optimum level. I'm not saying maximum, because If we stuff up the place, one particular space that we has been given to us for designing, if we stuff up the place, we put a lot of furniture in it, then it, though it will be maximum use of the space, but it will look very crowded and it will not be aesthetically appealing to the eye. So it has, the space usage has to be optimum, which is ideal. Next, as we have established before, that it has to be very easy to maintain on a daily basis. When the housekeeping staff or the maintenance staff is working in the area, they are cleaning it, it should be easy to operate. And we have to see it from the point of view of the guest, that the guests, when they are using it, it has to be comfortable, not just eye appealing. We have to sit on the furniture, lie on the beds and mattresses and see that it is very convenient for the guest. And it cannot be stressed enough, it has to be very convenient for the employees also to be cleaning the space, the furniture, whatever design aspects we have included in our design. So as we talked about interior design, the main aspect is that it embraces the application of art and science to create a novel feature that is something very unique and also a beautiful environment. So, coming to what are the basic types of design that are there. First is the structural type of design, which where it relates to the construction of various objects. It comprises of color, size, form, texture of an object that has been used in designing. And for structural design, some basic requirements are that the structural design, the main structure, wherever, say, if we are talking about a room or a building, the structural design should be simple. It should be well proportioned, means ratio wise, all the spaces should look good. Then it has to be beautiful and also suitable for its purpose. Like a room has to be having comfort as the main area, whereas when we are talking about a restaurant, the design has to be such that people can enjoy their dining experience in that way. And also the material that we are using for that designing space has to be suitable. Like if you are designing a restaurant with a village theme, we cannot be using contemporary style of furniture. It has to be rustic or village style furniture that we need to be putting in. Second aspect is that it has to be decorative. The design has to be decorative. It has to be having an enrichment of structural design, be it by form of line, color, material applied, etc. Next, the basic requirement, again staying with that for decorative design, is that the decoration that we do for a space, it has to be done in moderation. We cannot overcrowd a space or we cannot leave the space to blank and to empty also. There has to be enough background space so that when we are trying to emphasize on something or when we are trying to highlight something, there is enough background for us to appreciate that. A patterned picture in front of a patterned wallpaper finish wall will not look nice. A beautiful frame picture against the background of a plain wall or the simple or muted color wall will look much more appealing. And also the background has to suit the pattern. Now, what makes something visually appealing? That now that we are talking about design, what appeals to us is the way in which the elements of design, which you can say are your ingredients, we all can understand preparing a dish. So the way in which you use the ingredients, which is your elements of design, and the method that you use of cooking, if you understand that analogy, will be the principles in which you combine those ingredients, and the result that will come out will be wonderful. We will understand about the elements and the principles in the subsequent lectures. So, what are these? First is the elements of design are the various parts. They structure and they carry the work. Okay, elements of design are what bring the concept of design to the forefront. Next, the principles of designs are the concepts. They affect the content or the message that the design or the designer is trying to convey. The examples of elements are line, form, texture, etc. And principles are five that we will be covering: harmony, balance, rhythm in the future lectures. In the end, I would like to summarize the topics that we have covered today. Firstly, we talked about the objectives of design. The main objectives are that the design tries to achieve beauty, functionalism, and expressiveness. And what we use to achieve this objective of designs are the elements of design, which is line, form, color, texture, and some principles of design in which we use these elements, the ways in which we combine these elements and use, which will be proportion, balance, rhythm. All these elements and principles we will be discussing in the future lectures. I would like to thank you all for listening in, and please follow the link that is provided in the description box and attempt the quiz on today's topic. I would also like to give credit to the following sites from where I have sourced the material in preparing this presentation.